you say? What do you know? It's the full Monty Sports Show. It is Monday, September 13th, 2021. I am your host, Monty Perez, aka The Sports Whisperer. We are so excited tonight. It is week one of the NFL recap. I'm going to bring on my two co-hosts who I feel like this is almost a support group, not really a sports talk show, because we went 0-3. My Packers lost, the Browns lost, and the Vikings lost. Let's bring them on. Hey, Marie and Brad Ward. So happy to have you guys. How's it going, everyone?
Hello.
Okay, Marie, we're going to start with you. I got this. Someone sent this to me, and I don't know if it's legit. I don't know if it's 100% accurate. But they said this is a live video of Marie's boyfriend after he watched the first game of his life with you, and it went to overtime. So how is he doing? Give us an update. Was he ready for the craziness?
Yes, he's ready for the craziness. I think that's one thing he loves about me, but he's also a Colts fan, so he was absolutely miserable with me. We were just sitting there staring at the TV,
So what did you guys do? Just switch back and forth?
We had both games on, and we had both our laptops with Red Zone.
Oh. Okay.
2 TVs, Brad, 2 laptops, baby.
Yeah. Brad,
that's great.
Tough day for you. Just want to talk. What's the feeling like in Ohio? Because my Oregon Ducks went into Columbus, upset Ohio State 35-28. A few years ago, I was in the press box for the Alabama-Michigan game here in Florida in the bowl game. And the one thing that was so obvious to me is Alabama's team speed. The one thing that shocked me here was that Oregon's team speed was equal to, if not better, than Ohio State. And you don't see that. Going into this game, I remember talking to my friend Andrea, and I said, Oregon should compete because they've had a top 20 recruiting class, a top 10, and a top 7. So I thought they would compete, but what's the feel like? Was it they blew it, or do they think Oregon was the better team?
I guess the feel, Ohio State, I'll be honest, Ohio State fans are kind of nuts in the head. Like, they don't really think they ever, it's always some other reason, right? So they're pretty fanatic that way. But, all fans are like that a little bit. But they're a little bit more over the top. I don't mean to make enemies of my, surrounding people here, or anything like that. But, personally, it's the defense for me. They have guys on defense, freshmen, 5-star guys that they're playing guys over them, like seniority-wise and stuff. If you bring in a 5-star recruit, but get them on the field. How long are these guys going to be in the system? They're only going to be there until they can get to the NFL.
It's amazing sometimes with these groups. We see it in Alabama. I've seen it in LSU where the backup is better, but because they're younger, they don't play. Yeah. You see that in Alabama all the time.
Yeah, I think you see some of that in Ohio State right now, and I think it'll change too. Hopefully they lost early enough. The one thing I do enjoy about it is, if they can get in the playoffs, that's a lot of fun and stuff. So hopefully they lost early enough, they can run the table in the Big Ten and still get in.
Yeah, no, I think I was very impressed with Oregon. I didn't think they'd win. I thought it would be close. Very happy for me. Obviously, I'm a big Oregon supporter there.
Congrats,
Thank
brother.
You so much. All right,
Big win.
Let's talk. Let's move to NFL. This is, like I said, I really feel it's a support group. I'm going to start with the Green Bay Packers. And here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. You have 6 months to prepare for Jameis Winston and the New Orleans Saints. Now, I don't care what Aaron Rodgers does in the offseason, whether he wants to, be on Jeopardy, whether he wants to, play golf in the golf tournament. By the way, someone put this up here, and I think this is hilarious. It's Tom Brady with Aaron Rodgers, and it says, I'm going to tell my kids this is Forrest Gump and Lieutenant Dan. So I think that's hilarious, that picture. But my thing is this. Aaron Rodgers came out in an interview and basically said it was blown out of proportion by the media. This stuff, all the stuff that was supposedly said didn't really happen. Well, my thing is, Aaron, you didn't say a word when all this stuff was going on. You didn't say anything. I watched that Packer game, and I got to be honest, by halftime I said, Matt LaFleur, whatever you're selling, it ain't working. Because this isn't a young Packer team like a Jacksonville that goes on the road and gets smoked or plays at home and gets smoked. They didn't know what was going to happen in the first game. This is a veteran team, and they got smoked. They had no fight in them. They got punched early. They got punched often. Jameis Winston had 5 touchdown passes, the game of his life. And I know it's one game, but I don't know if Rodgers is done. Some people are posting like James Harden pictures, like he just quit. There's something not right in that locker room, and I'm freaking out over here. It's only one game, but they had no fight in them, Brad. They had no fight in them, Marie. I mean, you must be happy watching the Packers get smoked.
I don't get excited anymore because watch, he'll come back and win a Super Bowl. He's Aaron Rodgers. I'm so mad. The first year I actually drafted that dum-dum in my fantasy leagues. He had -1 point yesterday. I wanted to kill myself.
No, it was pathetic. And Matt LaFleur, the defensive coordinator, Joe Barry, who I didn't like them hiring him in the first place, he was terrible. They had no answers. They went into game 1.
Aaron Jones, 13 yards. What do you have? Something like nothing.
Yeah, totally unprepared.
Devontae Adams, where was he at?
I got a problem with LaFleur. He has brought the same kind of. He's of the Shanahan, McVay tree. The Browns run the same kind of stuff, right? Like you develop the run game, a lot of play action, da da da. All of his entire drop back pass game is based on Aaron Rodgers can do it, right? They run such simple, simplistic stuff in their drop back pass game. Nobody was open. There was nobody open all game. I don't even blame Rodgers. There was nobody. Receivers were not open at all. You have to run. If you can't get the run game started, he has to be more creative in his offense. It's too simple. He depends too much on 13 to bail him out, or whatever number he is.
I hate both teams with a passion. That was even a hard game for me to watch. But let's give credit to the Saints defense, too.
Yeah.
People focus a lot on Drew Brees and whatever. I mean, he's not there anymore. But you know what I mean? That Saints defense is good.
The Saints coaching, they have them ready. No matter who is quarterback, even when Brees went down, it doesn't matter. They always have them ready, game plan week in, week out, to play whoever they're playing and give them 100%. They are always going to be good.
And here's the thing that really, really bothered me is after the game, again, I say this all the time, right? When you're ready to leave a job, when you're ready to break up with someone or end a relationship, I'll give you a story. And I've said this story, but I haven't really gotten to specifics of it. I dated this woman one time, and her birthday was on Valentine's Day, right? Her birthday is on Valentine's Day. So the week before Valentine's Day, I take her out. We go down to Atlantic City. I take her to a Hall & Oates concert. Sweet, beautiful. She's like, this is the best Valentine's Day present we ever had. Her birthday was that Thursday on Valentine's Day. We go out to a romantic dinner, and she's like, what's this for? I'm like, this is your birthday present. She's like, oh, I thought you were giving me a combination present. My birthday is December 23rd. So we're dating for about a year. My birthday comes around. She calls me up. She's like, yeah, we'll just celebrate it on Christmas. I was done. I gave a couple of my presents to my sisters. We hung out at Christmas. I canceled my reservations for New Year's Eve. We actually watched Netflix. I left at 10:30, and I broke up with her January 2nd. And it wasn't because of the presents. I didn't care. It was just, you know what it's like to have a birthday on a holiday. I went out of my way. You don't even come see me on my birthday. And my point is this. Aaron Rodgers has one foot out the door, the other on a banana peel. So how much of a leader can he rally these troops where he doesn't have a great personality in the first place? He's not charismatic. He's very aloof, but he's done there. So how can you rally around him when they know he's leaving next year?
I don't know. He's going to say, I'm sorry, Amory. He said, relax, right? He said, this is overblown, relax. He always says relax. But I kind of believe him because he's done it before. He said relax before, and he bailed him out before. I'm not going to overreact to this. Weird stuff happens in week 1. Let's see what happens. I still see them as a 10+ win team.
Okay, but you're not concerned that a veteran team lost 38-3? I mean that's
an Aaron Rodgers team, not just
that's what concerns me. That's what they didn't want to play. They packed it in.
How did Jordan Love look? I couldn't even watch that game. I was like, I'm over this.
Terrible. Okay, that's my rant on the Packers. Let's move on. Brad, Chiefs 33, Browns 29. Think about this. Mahomes is 11-0 in September, 35 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. That is insane, Brad.
Yeah, he should be 10-1, and one of those should have been an interception on that freakish throw to
Yeah, exactly.
Tyreek Hill. And if he doesn't throw a wobbler that's like behind him, then John Johnson doesn't overrun it. You know what I mean? It's like he's running so hard to keep up with Tyreek Hill. It was just a lot of freaky things happened in the second half of that game. I honestly thought the Browns outplayed them for like the majority of the game and should have won the game. Definitely outplayed them in the first half, ran all over them. They had no answer for the Browns' run game or pass game, really. Baker did what he wanted all the entire first half. The Browns went in with a plan of like, we're gonna limit possessions. Like they wanted to limit to the Chiefs' possessions to like 8 possessions. They ended up with 9. If you think about that, and they said we're gonna need to score 35 points, and they scored 28. So ultimately, they didn't meet the goals that they wanted to go in with analytically, right, to get a win against this team. But they were really close because if the punter doesn't drop the ball, if Chubb doesn't fumble in the second half, who never fumbles, right? And then after that long drive, Mahomes throws that freakish pass to Hill. Those are 3 really freaky things that happened in the second half. They lost on some goofy stuff. Still, they gave it away, and it's really unfortunate. I still come away feeling like, hey man, this team can beat anybody in the NFL, right?
Well, Brad, one of the things that I don't, I'll watch the Browns 4 or 5 times a year. I'll listen to your show so I learn about them. But Stefanski is just a masterful play caller. This guy is so smart. And I mean, Amory, you know, you've seen him. But Brad, aren't you impressed? Like how he has defenses guessing all the time.
Yeah, he's just like Shanahan. They have that feel for the game, right? The run pass game. They just have everything looks the same. Everything looks like a run. Everything looks like a pass, and then it's just variations of it. He's very masterful play caller, and Browns are really lucky to have gotten him. And he's such an awesome dude. So smart. Like always says the right thing. Has instilled the right culture. He's just a great, awesome coach. Fantastic.
Brad, can we talk about Brown safety Ronnie Harrison getting thrown out of the game? What happened there? What's the mindset now in Cleveland? Was like, hey man, we're as good as any team in the NFL. We're going to be fine. And what's the mindset? You cannot have anyone get thrown out of a game. Are people upset about this? What's the feeling there?
Yeah, I mean it's stupid, right? It's a stupid thing to do, but at the same time, if you look back at it, the coach pushed him first. Right, I mean, a coach can't push a player. Right. You know what I mean? So then you turn around and he gets thrown out of the game, which he should have been thrown out of the game. I agree.
Because they always get the second reaction.
I get it. But like they're like, oh, he's intentionally putting his foot there. No, he's trying to pull his foot out, and the coach pushes him off of him. So but you can't one arm open hand shove a coach in the chest. You just can't do it. You're going to get kicked out of the game no matter what. And obviously, I'll give it credit. I've never been a fan of MJ Stewart, the guy who came in to replace him, but he actually played really well in the secondary behind him. Browns had a really good plan. To beat them, they just coughed it up in the second half.
Plan. And again, it's so frustrating because you have a 8-9 play drive, you score, and then they throw one pass to Tyreek Hill. But
that was so absurd.
Is the feeling in Cleveland like, hey man, we're right there?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. It stings so bad because it's not like they took it away. It's like we pissed it down our leg. Sorry, right. I don't know the language rules on the show. I should have checked.
Amory likes to curse. I know that.
It depends on the week.
Yeah, all right. So, I mean, they gave it away. I mean, it would be different if they took it away from them, but they gave it away, and that's what stings the most,
All right, let's move on. Marie, listen, I think Joe Burrow's very good. I think their offensive line in Cincinnati is bad. I thought this would be a close, high-scoring game, but I thought Minnesota would go in there and pull it out. What were your thoughts during the game? At what point did you say, hey, you know what? We might be in trouble here?
Well, this was a big game. I know we have a very hard schedule, and I thought this would be a W, but setting the tone with 4 penalties on the opening drive, I knew this wasn't going to be good. our offensive line looked atrocious. And we couldn't get the offense going. Now, I was happy to see some production on the defense. We had some of our starters back, which was nice. But we were still letting them we let Joe Mixon have a day. Everyone says it came down to first it was Jefferson, they didn't call it a touchdown, it was a first and goal, and then Dalvin's Cook fumble at the end. It shouldn't come down to that at the same time. I'm not saying they weren't, but yeah. So this is Zimmer's on ice. This is bad. I know it's week 1. I know people overreact, but this sets a big tone for us, especially going into next week. It's gonna be very tough. So our offensive line is bad.
When
everyone blames Kirk Cousins, I'm like, no, not yesterday.
No, I wouldn't blame him. As a matter of fact, when I was flipping back and watching the end of the game, once it went to overtime and Minnesota's driving, I'm like, they got this. They're going to kick a field goal. The experience, they won't turn it over. And no.
And the fact that we made a 53-yard field goal is, as a Viking fan, kicker cursed over here since I was born, okay, for 35 years. And we picked up the ex-punter from the Steelers, Jordan Berry. Special teams did an exceptional job yesterday. So I'm just trying to focus on the positives, but something is not clicking on our team and the coach. I blame the coaches. So
is that Greg Joseph kicking for you guys?
That's 53-yarder.
Yeah, the Browns gave that guy the boot. He's killing it over there.
I'm not used to that. I'm like, oh, there goes the game. Just when it comes down to a field goal, it's like, here we go.
How impressed were you with watching Joe Burrow play?
I thought Joe Burrow did good. We sacked him a couple times.
Their offensive line is that Jacksonville and we'll get into that later. But the Giants'
had 12
offensive
penalties for 116 yards, though. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And majority of it was the offensive line. Every player on the offensive line.
Vikings are a better team.
We are such a better team.
How many times can you win a game having 12 penalties? It's almost impossible.
It's insane. So that was unfortunate. But even in Zimmer's I was just happy that halfway through the third quarter we started playing well. You're happy halfway through the third quarter? I would not be happy.
That's not a good sign. No, that's not a good sign.
They made a good comeback, though. You got to give it to them. They rallied back. Yeah.
Leadership. Yeah. I love the no-huddle offense, so couldn't get Dalvin. We couldn't get the chef cooking, so.
Yeah, I'm surprised. He had 61 yards. Joe Mixon, 29 carries, 129 yards. They used him like Derrick Henry. They just kept feeding him the rock.
And Thielen, thank God. But, yeah, so it was just really bad.
All right, so we're going to do this every week. We start the show with Brad breaking down the Browns, me breaking down the Packers, Amory breaking down the Vikings, and then each one of us is going to talk about the rest of the games through the NFL. We're going to start with the Steelers against the Buffalo Bills. I watched this game. I had Rico show me the money Graziano on. Rico's a diehard Steeler fan. And Levi, the sports philosopher, is a Buffalo Bill fan. And this is really a tale of two games. Because I got to be honest with you, at halftime, the Bills controlled everything. But then the Steelers, in the second half, outscored them 23-6. They are 5-1 in their last 6 games at Buffalo. This Steeler front seven could be the best front seven. I know a lot of people want to talk about Washington, but this Steeler front seven is just fast. They gave Josh Allen all sorts of problems. Brad, as someone who's, this is your division, this is your rival, I think Big Ben looked old. I think Big Ben looked slow. But this Steeler defense, and they made the plays when they had it on special teams and on defense, just on that alone, they're good enough to win 9 games. How'd you feel about this game? Were you watching it at all?
Yeah, I watched it. I switching back between that and the Cincinnati-Minnesota game. So basically, you mentioned it. Buffalo had the controlled the game for the majority of the game. The problem is, while they were controlling the game, they failed to score. So it was 10-6, and they're running up and down the field on them. But they couldn't get the ball in the end zone. You leave Pittsburgh in the game that long, that's the mistake, right? They should have extended the lead at that point, and they definitely would have won. Probably 7, 8 out of 10 times Buffalo wins this game. But because of Pittsburgh's defense, Tomlin's, had a good game plan. They kept him out of the end zone. Deontay Johnson makes an incredible catch in the corner of the end zone. They have threats outside at wide receiver. Ben can still make those throws when he has time, right? When he doesn't have to move around and stuff. And their run game was terrible. They had no run game again.
I love him, but their offensive line is pretty weak.
Yeah, so how they won is kind of a mystery. It's like the Steelers have a way of just uglying it up, mucking it up, and finding a way to win the game, and that's what they did against Buffalo, and that's what they'll do to win a lot of games this year because of their defense. They can just ugly up the game and find a way to win, and they can do that especially with some of the weapons they have on the outside. It only takes one big play, you know what I mean?
And that's what Big Ben is. He's not super accurate. He's not super consistent. But one of the things that really impressed me about the Steelers, and not to bring up when I watched the Oregon-Ohio State, is the speed on defense. The speed on defense with the Steelers is really impressive.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. J.J. Watt was a menace, not even practicing, came in. How about him running down Allen on that tack?
Yep.
Micah Fitzpatrick's exceptional. Joe Hayden is even playing well at his old age out there. Good for him. So, it's...
look, and I got to give credit to Mike Tomlin. The guy's never had a losing season. I thought they were done at halftime. Like, this team has no life. But like you said, the defense kept them in there. They block a punt for a touchdown. And just, a lot of people want to kill Mike Tomlin. But it's I always say this about the NFL season, about the NBA season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Mike Tomlin, you look at his career, the guy just wins. He just wins.
Yeah. Hell,
All right, Brad.
He went over 500 with Mason Rudolph as his quarterback a couple years ago. That's saying something.
All right, Brad. The Chargers 20, Washington football team 16. What impressed me so much about this is, think about this. Justin Herbert on third down against one of the best teams defensively in the league, 13 for 16, 160 yards, 11 first downs, and 1 touchdown.
Dude, Herbert is the real freaking deal, man. 31 of 47, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He did force the interception, but let's be real. To ice the game, he threw probably like 4 straight third down completions with the game on the line. Let's be real, though. These are 2 good football teams. Football team is very good. They were had a lead until that Gibson fumble. They were going in to go up by 2 scores, and Gibson fumbles the football. The Chargers take advantage of it. 2 good defenses, 2 really good defenses. I love the Chargers defense. I love Herbert and the weapons that he has. But the football team, Heineke came in after the Fitzpatrick injury.
Yeah, he's going to be gone for a little bit.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick's going to be out. Hey, Cam Newton, Ron Rivera, would you be picking up the phone here?
You know what? The thing with Cam Newton is he doesn't know he didn't know the playbook. Mac Jones was helping him with the playbook on a New England team that he was there last year. How quickly is Cam going to pick up the playbook? Yeah, Mac Jones, the rookie, was helping Cam Newton with the playbook.
I don't know about that. I don't know about all that.
I will get you that information.
I'll ask to see your source on that information. Yeah, I'm going to ask for a source.
Cam Newton. He's not accurate. He's prone to turning the ball over.
What they have is a good running game. If you could shape it around Gibson and him running the ball and throwing the short pass game, they've got so much speed on the outside. You could work something.
Logan's a very good tight end.
Logan's a very good tight end. They have the weapons there to do it, and they were in position to win this game. The Chargers have just as good as a defense, I think. Probably not on the front, but definitely on the back end. Their secondary is exceptional. I love, what's his name? Their
Derwin
safety.
James?
Derwin James is incredible.
I think he's one of the best defenders in the league. So, Marie.
But really, let me finish. The guy who won this game was Justin Herbert alone, like on his right arm. He is a freaking star in the making. If we didn't already know it last year, he proved it in week 1 this year. He won it with his right arm. Down the end of the game, icing that game, 3-4 straight third downs, just gorgeous throws. He's incredible.
He was 13 of 16 on third down. So, Marie, you're running the Washington franchise. Are you calling and saying, hey, Cam, come to camp?
Oh yeah, I like Cam Newton. So yeah.
Me too. Yeah,
So,
me too.
And the whole Ron Rivera thing. So that's the first thing I thought of yesterday when that went down. I was like, well, you need someone. So, and I like Heineke too. I'm not saying he can't do the job, but you need someone.
But Ron Rivera, he knows Cam Newton, so it'll be very interesting because they need a quarterback, and if Ron Rivera doesn't call him, that says more about Cam Newton than anything else.
See, here's the thing, though. Cam's getting a bad rap, I think. Okay? I do think he's getting a bad rap. First of all, Taylor Heineke in relief duty yesterday, 11 for 15, a touchdown, and 119. So he wasn't bad. Let's be real. He was not bad. Right. He was actually pretty good. But long term, do they think he's going to be able to do that? I mean, that's taken on a whole him playing as a rookie. He played well, I think, in the wild card game last year. But him coming in as a rookie, that changes the whole dynamic. They've been through that before with Ron Rivera and everything. I don't know if you want to go down that road again. I would bring in the veteran. They went through all that with Haskins and everything, right? Like, I would bring in the veteran and go with Cam Newton. I think it gives you a better chance with that defense to allow you to play complementary football and try to win games ugly.
Yeah, listen, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to do. And like I said, it's not like he's going to a team last year that had no offensive weapons. They have a good wide receiver. They have a good running back. They have a very good tight end. So it could be that.
And Cam throws a good deep ball, and they've got McLaurin and Samuel. And he does he brings an element of leadership that I'm sure they're lacking in that locker room.
And if nothing else, you look at this Washington team, Ryan Fitzpatrick's a journeyman, right? You look at this Washington team, they're very good on defense. Their offense doesn't have a personality, right? Maybe Cam Newton is that where they'll rally around him, which will go to our next game. Chicago Bears, Rams. The Rams win 34-14. I got to be honest with you, Marie, I'm watching this Rams team, and it reminds me of everything right with L.A. when the Lakers are good. Like, there's just a magic. McVay's a good-looking guy. Matthew Stafford comes in, and he's like loving life. This team looks really scary.
I'm happy for Stafford too. He's always been on such a tough team. So like I couldn't agree with you more. McVay and Stafford, that seems just like a romance already. Stafford chopped up the Bears secondary, and the Rams offensive line looked amazing. Except on the other hand though, and Jalen Ramsey just keeps getting better. Got Darius Williams on the other side. You got the best freaking defender in the league. But Dalton on the Bears side though, Dalton was good. Like, he was efficient but not explosive. I know people want to see more of Fields. And their running game, the Rams.
I was impressed with Montgomery. I was.
Montgomery 100, but they couldn't produce points though. So you have 100 plus rushing yards, but you can't produce points. I mean, what's that about? So I mean, Nagy, that they're a mess. And the Rams offensive line against that strong Bears D line, great, but their secondary is awful. Eddie Jackson needs to be benched. I mean, that was a good game.
Listen,
I'm so excited for Stafford.
No, he played great. How about he set the record? It's the highest passer rating for a quarterback making their debut with the team at 156.1.
Holy crap.
I didn't think the Bears played bad. I really don't. Sean McVay's 5-0 in 5 straight years. He's won every first game, and Matthew Stafford averaged 12 yards per completion. I mean, people don't realize how good of an arm he has, Brad.
Right. No, the Bears just are missing some holes, especially on defense. And they're a good team. They're a good team. They're not awful, but yeah. So, that was. I'm just excited for Stanford. How exciting for him to finally be on a winning team.
NFC West is maybe the best division in all of football, and they could get 4 teams in for the first time ever.
No,
Stafford did better than Goff did the whole season last year. I feel like just one game.
There's just a different vibe. Like when Bradford's completing those passes to Kupp and you just see Sean McVay's like, this is what we wanted for the past 3 years.
That's awesome.
It's like he was in an abused relationship, and now he finally got someone that loves him back.
And they lost their number 1 running back, and looks like they still played well. So I mean, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, no, I was very impressed, and I don't think the Bears are that far off. Amory, you hit the nail on the head. They're driving down, and then Dalton throws an interception in the end zone. when Justin Fields scores, you saw the whole bench get re-energized. It's
Right.
almost like they want Justin Fields to play and start.
They
I
will. He
liked him out of
will. He
Ohio
will.
State. Yeah, no, I think he will. Brad, how soon is too soon for Justin Fields to start?
I would let Dalton start the next game, and for the very reason that you said, is if it goes badly, as soon as it starts, not even go badly, but as soon as he starts to lose control of the game, I would hand over the keys and never look back,
No.
as far as I'm concerned, because it gives you a chance to re-energize your team in mid-game. Like, so, give Dalton a chance. I know for a fact he promised Dalton the starting job, so he had to run him out there week one, even if he lost the battle in the offseason, which I think he did. And I think that is not, he is not long for that starting job. And the Bears aren't that far off. Like, they
They're
have
not.
a team
They're
that can
not.
win. They just need a quarterback that can lead them. And I do think that they can do that with with making that change from Dalton.
I was surprised how good, because there's a lot of talk about the Bears' offensive line. I think Pro Football Focus had them like 28th or something like that. I was surprised at how good Montgomery. There were holes there. I mean, he wasn't breaking tackles behind the line of scrimmage. So I think the Bears are not as bad as they seem from the score.
Last point on this game I would want to make is let's talk about, I mean, the Rams, right? They've been in the NFC Championship game last couple years, couple times, right? They've been right there every year for like the last 3 years. With Stafford now, I mean, like, they are legit. Like, they were in the Super Bowl, 3 years ago? I think they're going back potentially. If not them, I thought the Niners looked really good too.
Yeah, but we'll get to the Niners in a minute. Raheem Mostert, their running back's out for at least 8 weeks. So
Does it matter who runs the ball there?
It doesn't.
I don't think it does.
I know this from fantasy football. You can't take someone on San Francisco because he just goes with the hot hand. All right, let's move to the Carolina Panthers, 19-14 over the Jets. Listen, I think the Eagles and the Carolina Panthers are my two sleeper teams. They're going to be better than people think. Christian McCaffrey, his 5th career game with 80 rushing yards and 80 passing yards. Give credit to the Jets defense because they shut them out in the second half. This is the problem I'm going to have with the Jets all year long is they just don't have enough weapons on offense. And their offensive lineman now got carted off. Becton, he might be out. I wasn't happy with him. He came to camp 30 pounds overweight. What the hell are you doing? It's your second year in the league. You know what you're going through, and he comes 30 pounds overweight. Horrible. But I like the Carolina Panthers. I think Sam Darnold's going to be good. He had a very nice pass to Robbie Anderson for a touchdown. Brad, I have this team maybe winning 10 games. Is that crazy?
No, I think it's very possible. I think their defense is underrated. I like the Panthers a lot, and I think that Darnold looked great. Darnold. What do you call him? Darno.
Darnold.
It sounds like you're saying Darno.
Darno. Everyone says that. Everyone always says, "Why do you call him Darno?" That's what everyone always says to me.
Yeah,
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Sam Darnold will he looked good. He looked great. Once again, remove Gase from the equation, and and the quarterback looks much better. Tannehill all over again. So,
all right, let's move to the Eagles, 32-6 over the Falcons. One of the things I don't understand is they targeted Kyle Pitts, the tight end out of Miami, like one time in the first 5 possessions. What the hell's Atlanta doing?
I don't know. So Atlanta, let's first hit on Atlanta. Atlanta's defense is god awful, okay, and they're they're so bad. But I expect their offense to be better. Definitely, right? They have weapons. Calvin Ridley. They, even Mike Davis getting a start there after he performed really well there. And I always expect. I can't even remember his name right. Matt Ryan to look good. I mean, he's good every year, right? Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, he throws the ball well. So I expected their offense to look a lot better. I think they will look better than this. The Eagles looked fantastic. Hurts looked unbelievable. 27-35, 3 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, rookie wide receiver, 6 catches, 71 yards and a touchdown. They diced him up. And not even like Hurts took a lot of hate in the offseason, like not being on a lot of people, like Chris Sims, top 40 quarterbacks, not on there, like other people like that. But like he looked really good. Like he escaped the pocket well. He was under control. He doesn't have that like elite arm like a lot of quarterbacks does. But if he moves like his the key to him being successful is his footwork, getting out of the pocket and making throws down the field that he can make. Like he gets in trouble when he tries to make those elite throws. But if he stays within himself like he did on Sunday and just take what the defense is given to him and deliver the ball in the area and let receivers like Smith and Rieger make plays, he'll do well. Their run game looked good too. Miles Sanders and they were using somebody else too. But they offense looked incredible. And I will say this: people are sleeping on the Eagles' offense a little bit. Shane Steichen is a name to write down. He is the offensive coordinator for the Eagles now. Was the offensive coordinator for the Chargers last year. Came to the Eagles now. Love what he's doing with that offense.
I loved one of the things that I said early on when I was doing prep work for Nuts and Bolts Sports as I write my divisional preview articles. I look at this Eagle team. Pro Football Focus has them ranked 13th in the offensive line. They have two very good tight ends. Zach Ertz can still get it done. Goddard is very good. Jalen Reagor, they drafted 21st last year, was hurt all last year. And now you have Devontae Smith. You have a good running game. You have two elite speed wide receivers. So they have the burners going downfield and the tight ends clogging up the middle. I think this Eagle team is a sleeper to win the NFC East. I really like them if all goes well. And you hit the nail on the head, Brad. When Jalen Hurts is playing within himself and just taking what the defense gives him, he's pretty scary because he's a very good dual-threat quarterback.
Absolutely, yeah. He looked great running the ball too, and their O-line and their D-line are better than advertised.
Yes,
both.
They are. Good point. Very good point. Okay, Marie, San Francisco 41-33. We just talked about Mozart being out. I didn't think this game was as close as people said. Detroit kind of came on.
Numbers were, yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, the numbers were very misleading. Like, for example, so Jared Goff, for example, finished with a 53 pass attempts for 338 yards, which 338 sound pretty good, right? But it's misleading. He had a 43-yard touchdown screen pass to DeAndre Swift, and while the 94 of Goff's yards came from the final two drives. They played awful. The Lions have heart, though. They always do, don't they? Don't they, Monty? But the defense is so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. They do have a running back. I like Swift.
I like Swift too. I'm just surprised that he didn't start the game. I don't know if he was in the doghouse.
Niners are a great team if they can stay healthy. Jimmy G looked good. Trey Lance, there's a lot of promise there. I know he had 4 snaps, but one of them was a touchdown. So I thought this wasn't as close of a game either. I mean, they made a little comeback at the end of the game, but couldn't agree more.
Any concern that the San Francisco defense, which is supposed to be their strong point, gave up over 400 yards to Detroit?
No, it's all garbage prevent
defense,
right? Yeah, I mean, like that's the NFL. You get a lead, you go into prevent, and then you're gonna be susceptible to the middle of the field and underneath, and that's where teams are gonna try to get back in it, and that's what you do basically in the NFL is you're gonna let them score, but just make them work it down the field and use time to do it.
It's funny because we were talking today on social media with a bunch of people, and someone said that, Matthew Stafford had Calvin Johnson. So tell me again how he didn't have weapons. And my response was, can you guys name anyone? Other than Dominic and Sue and Chris Spielman on defense, who was a consistent Pro Bowler for Detroit?
No. I mean, didn't they? Well, Ezekiel Ansah.
Okay. All right. So you can't name 5 people. So this reporter saying that Detroit had talent all those years, no, they really didn't.
No. They have heart. That's about it.
Listen, I mean, they should be able to run the ball. I'm a little nervous because you saw one of the things that Green Bay's, and we'll get to this later, that Green Bay has had a weakness in. You saw this last year when Minnesota came in and just ran the ball down their throats. I think Detroit's going to do the same thing next week. I think they're just going to pound Green Bay up the middle and keep running the ball. But let's move on. We have the Seahawks and the Colts. I said on my show on Sunday, I said I'm always worried about a West Coast team traveling, but Seattle is, I think, 12-1 in 10 a.m. times. What surprised me was Carson Wentz was under duress a lot of the games, and the Colts are supposed to be the number 2 offensive line in the NFL. Tyler Lockett, again, if you're playing fantasy football, one week you start Tyler Lockett, the next week you start DK Metcalf, because they always alternate.
Turns. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how Russell Wilson keeps doing it. They got a new offensive coordinator. They got a little bit better offensive line, but I was shocked because I thought the Colts were going to pound the ball with Jonathan Taylor, and I thought they'd win this game. Were you guys shocked with this, or you kind of thought Seattle would win?
I thought Seattle would win, but I didn't think it would be like this. I thought the Colts were better. And, once again, it's week 1. We don't want to overreact or anything. But really, what we were looking for was a different Wentz, and I didn't see that much of a different Wentz from what we saw in Philadelphia. Patting the ball, holding onto the ball too long, not making his decisions quickly like he did when he was playing well. So I was hoping to see a better Wentz under Frank Reich, the reunited front there. But I didn't in week 1. That doesn't mean we won't from there on. But boy, I love what the Seahawks are doing. The way that they have changed their offense, Pete Carroll deserves a lot of credit for always adapting to whatever scenario he has in the offseason, and they're always going to be good because he does that. And I worry about their defense ultimately in the end because they really lack pass rushers. They have Carlos Dunlap. They were able to get
Jamal
pressure
Adams.
on.
And Jamal Adams,
right.
Yeah.
Right. But, other than when you have to bring Jamal Adams all the time to bring pressure, ultimately you're taking a guy out of your secondary, and a good quarterback is going to eat you up. They're going to win a lot of high-scoring games this year, or be in a lot of high-scoring games this year. The Colts were just not ready, I didn't think.
No, and they haven't been healthy either. So, get them healthy. Xavier Rhodes was out. I mean, they were struggling in the secondary.
That would have helped a lot.
And Russell Wilson ate that up all day. So,
yeah.
I'm not worried about the Colts. And I don't think Carson Wentz looked bad.
Especially you look at that division, the Titans looked awful. Jack, we'll talk about the next one. Brad, let's talk
the prison
about Houston.
Inmate game.
Tyrod Taylor time.
Houston 37, Jacksonville 21. People are already all over Urban Meyer. So, Brad, what happened here? What's going on?
Well, this is the prison inmate game of the week, yeah, for sure. And Houston, Jacksonville, it was a hard watch, man. I mean, so nothing happened in the first quarter at all, really. Tyrod Taylor, give him credit, but not too much credit because of who it was against, right? I thought Houston would win this game because I honestly think Jacksonville is terrible, like maybe one of the worst teams we've ever seen in the NFL. And not even that they don't have talent, but Urban Meyer just doesn't get it, and he shouldn't be an NFL coach. Like, he does not get it at all. I was okay with some of the stuff they ran offensively. It's just they just don't. He just doesn't get it. Like, the position they're putting Lawrence in could ruin him. I mean, he's fantastic. Even in this god-awful, pedestrian, stuff they did offensively, he still looked okay at times. Yeah. But they lack weapons. Their offensive line is not good. 51 attempts. Why 51 throws in his first NFL game? He should be fired for that, Monty. Urban should. He is the problem, I think, there. And I don't think they're going to turn over anything. He shouldn't have taken this job. He took the job for all the wrong reasons.
All the wrong reasons. And I will
go
say
back
this.
Down to Florida and everything. And he doesn't, like, his interview after the preseason game, I don't think you've ever watched a preseason NFL game before the way he was talking. Seriously. Go ahead.
I will say this. Two things that really disturb me. You bring up he took the job for all the wrong reasons. And also, his coaching staff they've all been fired. Their offensive defense core have been fired from elite programs. And I will say this. Trevor Lawrence made he had 3 interceptions, right?
Yeah,
The Houston
3 touchdowns,
defense,
3 interceptions. Yeah,
the Houston defense had 3 interceptions all of last year. I
yeah,
thought Houston was going to be the worst team. Jacksonville was going to be the worst team. Their defensive and offensive coordinator are terrible. Urban Meyer reminds me a lot of Steve Spurrier when he went from college to the Washington football team. They were the Redskins back then. He was just like, you don't need to watch film, like thinking he's smarter than everyone else in the room. And one
yeah.
of the things I said, you brought Tim Tebow into your camp when everyone knew he was going to be cut. Like, how are you running a program, bringing in a guy, if it's for to sell jerseys, then just say, hey, look, we need money. But
Yeah.
Red, he went to Jacksonville, and I don't think he's a prepared NFL coach.
I don't think he is either. No, and the only way that this would have worked is if he landed elite NFL coaches at all of his coordinator jobs around him,
Exactly.
right? That could have brought him in and eased him into the game and said, because I ultimately think he's a great culture guy. Like, that's what he does. He's a program builder, right? But he's not used to playing games where he doesn't have more talent than the other team does. That's what he's done his entire career. So
Absolutely.
can he go out and out scheme somebody? I don't think he's ever had to do that in his life.
Never.
So if he doesn't have the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator to do that, they're doomed. Their defense could not get off the field. 6 straight third down conversions by the freaking Houston Texans, and that's absurd, right? Like, Mark Ingram ran all over him. Yeah,
One of the things that I saw recently, because doing a lot of college football, Dabo Sweeney of Clemson is 8-7 against top 5 teams. So you just brought up the point. Has Urban Meyer ever had to out scheme someone in college? It was always the talent that won because he's a great recruiter. He's not a great recruiter in the NFL because there's a salary cap.
I mean, the one year they beat Oregon and then Alabama to win the national title, and that would be the one time, I think. And that was with Cardell Jones, right?
Yeah,
who was your third string quarterback who came in and just put magic together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, hey Marie, Cardinals 38-13. It's the first time in history that Arizona, think about this, even with Kurt Warner, when Kurt Warner was there, it's the first time in history Arizona had 2 wide receivers catch 2 touchdown passes in a game.
Well, and not just that, their whole offense was productive too. Chase Edmonds what's their rookie Moore?
Yeah,
Rondell.
Kyler Murray looked ridiculous, and that was a lot of fun. But on the other side of the ball, Chandler Jones could not be stopped. I mean, that guy was out of control, and I'm scared for my offensive line next week.
He was a man possessed.
But he's forced 2 fumbles. I mean, the Cardinals that was a statement. Okay, I didn't think the Cardinals were going to be bad. I thought they'd be 9-8 maybe. But I know it's week 1. We're not going to overreact. But Kyler Murray looked ridiculous, and I'm going to try to be positive for next week. But the Titans, though, on the other hand, I didn't think they would play that bad. Their defense didn't show up. Where was their wide receiver core? Not productive. King Henry, where are you at? I mean,
Where's
what the hell
Henry?
happened?
I have a problem with Mike Vrabel. I used to watch the Tennessee Titans all the time when Mariota was there, and then afterwards.
Of course you did.
There's so many times where Mike Vrabel, it almost like he doesn't have a feel for the game. I'll give you an example. They're playing out in London, and they're pounding the Chargers the whole second half. They score with 2 seconds left, and instead of playing for overtime because the Chargers were physically exhausted, he goes for the 2-point conversion, and they lose. He doesn't have a feel for the game sometimes, and one of the things that people don't realize about Tennessee is they have the least amount of returning starters from last year. Mike Vrabel was miserable after the game, but when you lose 38-13 at home and your stud running back doesn't even show up, Brad, he could be on the hot seat.
Yeah, you know what Vrabel does is he creates his teams are always chippy and good defensively for the most part. Not this game, obviously, but that's kind of what he creates. Is he creates a culture of where it's us against the world. They're always really chippy. They're always really physical, and that's how they've won in the past, right? Obviously, Derrick Henry brings that along, and then Tannehill came into the equation, and now they got 2 great weapons on the outside, so everybody's expecting a lot. I think this is less about the Titans and more about the Cardinals, because the Cardinals for
Right.
me was like a show. They were like a team, like a huge mystery to me. Like they got I don't know. Murray looked suspect at the end of last year after a great start. They got to show me something this year, right? And they did for sure. Like their defense is for real, man. They got a good defense.
I
Their
have
front
no
is tough. Yeah.
I have no faith in Cliff Kingsbury, but they look good. Their defense has improved. His defense was atrocious at Texas Tech. Remember, he was 19-35 in conference play at Texas Tech. He won 7 games with Patrick Mahomes. So,
Yeah.
the jury is still out. The bad news for the Cardinals is they're in the toughest division in the NFL.
There.
All right,
Yeah.
let's move to a game that I loved. The Miami Dolphins 17-16 over the Patriots. Jalen Waddle, the second player in Miami history to have 60 reception yards and a TD in his first game. He's going to be an absolute stud. He's super fast. He runs great routes. He's got good chemistry. One of the things that impressed me about this game is Miami and New England are going to be 2 top 10 defenses. Mac Jones didn't look rattled at all. As a matter of fact, when he threw a touchdown pass, they wanted to give him the game ball as they're running off. He's like, I don't want it. And they asked him afterwards. He's like, I'm worried about winning games. I'm not worried about game balls. We didn't win. So, maybe I thought both of these teams, this is how they're going to have to play. Timely offense, be smart on defense, create pressure. But Mac Jones and Tua both played very well.
Great game.
Yeah, it's a good game. I think that certainly Mac Jones is the perfect guy for that situation, right? They have found the ideal successor at quarterback in New England, and I think they'll be good, and I think that Miami will be very competitive. I don't know if they're ready to make that next step yet, but I think that they're going to be competitive in all their games.
Miami's defense is very good. That's why I was so impressed with Mac Jones. He didn't look rattled at all. All right, Brad, let's close it out. Giants offensive line is disgusting. People wanted to blame Cowboy former head coach, their offensive coordinator now. But when you have a terrible offensive line and when Daniel Jones constantly fumbles the ball, how the hell are you supposed to win?
Well, all right, let's start with this. Teddy Two Gloves. I love to see him get some success, because how could you not like Teddy, right? So Teddy Two Gloves was great. Not great, but he was good enough to win. This game was much closer than it appeared. All right, so 10-7, 6 minutes in the third quarter. Bridgewater makes an incredible play on fourth down to Fant. He gets in. They go up 17-7. I mean, the Giants were driving up and down the field all game long. Daniel Jones fumbles in the red zone at 17-7. They get back in the red zone again at 20-7 with a chance to cut it to 2014. You're still in the game at that point, and they can't get in the end zone on 4th and goal. It's just, they squandered opportunities to keep this game close and potentially win. I think both of these teams are like 500-ish teams.
I just when I look at the Giants, right, and I didn't understand this because Daniel Jones was considered by most and people I trust to be a late second round, third round pick at best. And yet they went out on a limb. They drafted this guy. He's a turnover machine. That's one of the reasons why Jameis Winston got benched. Jameis Winston has so much more talent than Daniel Jones, but his last season he had 30 interceptions and 8 fumbles. Daniel Jones, if you're turning the ball over. Good.
I don't know. I think he has talent. I'm not giving up on Daniel Jones yet. I'm not going to give up on him. He's got to stop fumbling the ball. He's got to protect the football. But that's true for lots of young rookie quarterbacks. Guys come along at different. He doesn't have the talent of Kyler Murray and other guys like that. They are finding success much faster in the NFL. But certainly, I think that he could be successful in the NFL. And I actually think the Giants' defense could be pretty good this year.
All right, let's we got about 5-10 minutes left. Hey, Marie, give us 3 takeaways from week 1.
Do not overreact.
Yes. Okay. Totally agree.
All right, my three favorites this week was, Jameis Winston for sure. Yeah, I'm very excited. I hate the Saints with a passion, as you know. Jameis Winston, going back, Dak Prescott, I was excited about too. I don't know why I really like him too, and Kyler Murray, man, I think those are 3 quarterbacks we really need to be on the lookout for this year. They're going to surprise me. They're going to surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah. Pittsburgh is still going to be a pain in the ass. That's number one. Cardinals are for real. NFC West is the best division of football. And the Saints are always going to be good, no matter who's at quarterback.
All right, here are my 3 takeaways.
Guys, it's week 1.
Don't overreact.
Don't overreact. Here are my 3 takeaways. 1, Aaron Rodgers, it's just not going to work this year. It's not. I'm a diehard Packer fan.
That's an overreaction. Overreaction, Monty.
But if you look at all that's led up to this, it's almost like Aaron Rodgers wanted to lose this game. He had no emotion, whatever. My second reaction is you look at the Cowboys, right? It's the same old Cowboys. The Cowboys, what's the stat I have here? I wrote it down. The Cowboys have lost 17 straight games where they don't score 30 points. So it's a shootout. It's a shootout for them. The Cowboys have to have a shootout. And finally, my biggest shock to week 1 is Seattle is better than I thought.
Yeah,
Seattle is better than I thought.
I agree
because
with
that Colts team will probably win their division. Seattle went in there and they looked like they were all business. Okay, Marie, give us your offensive player of the year and your coaching staff. Offensive player of the week and your coaching staff.
I was like, oh God, don't make me predict that week
of the
1.
year.
Just what the New Orleans is going through in the Saints, and I was very impressed with Jameis Winston. I'm just going with him.
Okay, and your coaching staff.
I hate to sorry, Brad. Just Andy Reid, man. You just like those stupid Chiefs. You can't let up for a second.
For a second.
It's incredible. It's just Andy Reid's just insane.
All right, Brad.
They luck boxed into that one.
Oh, sorry, but that guy, man, you cannot have any margin of error. They're gonna find a way to come back and beat you.
All right, your player of the week
the
and your coach of the week.
Dropped. All right, sorry about that. Justin Herbert is my offensive player of the week. Sorry for stealing that one from you, Monty. And then my coaching staff of the week is going to be the Eagles coaching staff and offensive coordinator Shane Steichen. Write it down. Remember that name.
Oh, okay.
You know, you kind of stole my thunder here with my beautiful Justin Herbert picture there, like I'm a 16-year-old girl having a poster of some heartthrob up there.
There he is. I see him.
My offense player of the league is going to be Kyler Murray. 5 touchdowns on the road. Yeah. Everyone had the Titans winning that game. And, I'm sorry, Brad, but my coaching staff has got to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Outscored them 23-6. Made great. Let me tell you something. Buffalo's a very well-coached team. And Mike Tomlin made all the adjustments. Okay, got a couple minutes left.
Coach.
We're going to start with you, Marie. Break down the Vikings play Arizona. This is not going to be an easy one.
Yeah, no. The tone they set this week and the tone we set this week. Listen, both good defenses, both good offenses. It's gonna be on us. The Vikings, it's gonna be on us.
Where is the game?
Huh?
Where is the game?
In Arizona. I'm not mad about that. I just as long as we don't have penalties, and you will tell by the first drive what kind of game Kirk Cousins is going to give you, though. So if our offensive line shows up, I think we have a chance, but I really think they're going to beat us.
Give us a prediction and a score if you could.
I'm going 34-21.
Wow, so you think they're going to come out and score a ton of points?
Well, I don't know because it's really hard based off this week. Even though our defense looks really good, I'm going to change it. All right, I'm going 28-21.
Okay, listen, this is a redemption week. I feel bad for Houston. They're thinking they're better than they are after beating Jacksonville. They're playing Cleveland. I think this is going to be like 37-17. Brad, what do you got?
Yeah, I got 31-13. I think the Browns are going to come out and be upset about the way they lost in week 1. And I think they pretty much showed that their offense is a little bit of a juggernaut and their defense is coming along. They certainly have the talent there, but they're just going to take them some time to gel.
Yeah.
So I think that each week that defense should be getting better, but I think they take out some growing pains on Houston at home opener in Cleveland. The people will be rabid and wildly drunk. It'll be fun.
And look at Rico coming in. I miss you guys talking about how awesome Pittsburgh is. Rico's been on Pittsburgh. He thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl, but he thinks that every year. So that's fine. Listen, I'm going to talk real quick about the Packers. I'm very nervous. I think Detroit's going to run the ball down. I think the Packers are in a world of hurt, and I'm taking Detroit to upset them 27-23.
Really?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Overreaction Monday.
Boy.
Overreaction Monday, Monty.
I'm down, Monty. I'm down.
All the signs. I hope I'm wrong. Okay, what we're going to do right now, we're going to keep track. Whoever has a winning record for these Monday night games gets a $100 American Express gift card courtesy of me. So if I win, hopefully I just pay myself. Marie, the Ravens at Las Vegas. Who do you got?
I got Ravens 31-20. I mean, they had a lot of injuries, but their defense is amazing, and they got Lamar Jackson. Even though the Raiders made an upgrade with their defense during the offseason, I just think I don't know if they can pressure. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel like the Ravens are going to come out hot. 31-20.
Who do you got, Brad?
Are we going with the spread or straight up here?
Just straight winners.
Oh man.
Here.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. Well, yeah.
Straight winners.
All right.
Oh, Ravens. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm taking the Ravens. I was actually going to say 31-20, but I'll say 31-17. Great minds think alike there. I had it written down right here. You could see on all my little notes. 31-20.
Okay. I love it.
I'm taking the Ravens, if for nothing else. Think about this. They set the record last year. 3 straight first games of the season, they've won by 30 or more points for 3 straight years. So their home opener over the last 3 years, they have been blowing out teams. So I like the Ravens here big. I have no faith in John Gruden. 37-24. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens. So we all took the Ravens.
It's a lot of points.
A lot of points. I think they're going to score a lot. I have no faith in John Gruden. Guys, this has been so much fun. Marie, how can we follow you? How can people listen to your show? I listen to it 2-3 times a week. Love you guys in the morning.
I appreciate you. Follow me on any social media platform. It's on the corner here in this window at Part-Time Bro. I have a bunch of other podcasts and whatever, but you can catch me on the opening drive Monday through Friday, 6:10 a.m. 95.9 FM, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mountain Time. It's a local station here, but you can stream it anywhere like Monty does.
Yes. Brad, how can we follow and support your YouTube show, which is, I think you have like 25,000 subscribers now. It's out of control how many subscribers you have.
Yeah, All Eyes on Cleveland with Brad Ward from Blue Wire Hustle. If you can still hear me, I turned my mic away. Sorry about that. Yeah, All Eyes on Cleveland on YouTube. Subscribe and like the shows. We do about 2 or 3 shows a week on there. It's also on podcast version where you can find any of your popular podcasts. So Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. Really, any of them.
I'm going to call both of you guys out. I sent you both a beautiful little plaque. How come it's not in your studios? How come
I'm going to bring it.
Brad, do you have it there?
I actually been using it for like my Vizzies and my hard seltzers. It's like I think
it's in my other room. I put my pens in it. It holds my pens.
This is the new studio. We haven't decorated it yet.
Okay, that's the new studio. So next week I want to see those.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Love having you guys on. Love that you guys have so much knowledge. And it's fun for me to see you guys talk about, because you've been on my show and listening to you. I love hearing you guys talk about other than the Minnesota Vikings and the Cleveland Browns. So love hearing both of that. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week, guys. Enjoy the game. Brad, thank you so much. What is that?
It's a Harrison Bryant signed helmet.
That's nice.
Mini helmet. This is Chomps.
Brad,
it's in my studio now.
Who decorated your studio? You did that all yourself?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Took a while. Oh, that's what I did during quarantine.
Right. No, it looks great.
Spent a lot of money.
It looks great. All right, Brad. We'll see you next week. Great job tonight.
Love you, man.
Hey, have a good one.
Overreaction. Don't overreact, man. Don't give up on your Packers. I haven't.
Thank you. I appreciate that. People saying I'm overreacting. I just think that there's something wrong in Green Bay. There's something wrong, like a bad relationship It's time to move on. I said it in the offseason. As a Packer fan, I wanted Aaron Rodgers to go. I want to thank everyone for watching this. If you missed any part of this show, feel free to go to YouTube, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe. We will see you Sunday. Remember, Sunday we're doing a pregame show, and then Monday night we do the postgame Monday night recap with A. Marie and Brad Ward. Thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy the Monday Night Football game.